Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reed Option, broadcasting this afternoon's 3 p.m. NAGA matchup between the Baton Rouge Redbirds and the Milwaukee Bees. Milwaukee having a 50-50% chance based off of these analysts here, but overall being favored 67% to 33. Let's hop right in as we have the Redbirds hailing from the Southeast, starting off 0-3 on the season, losing last week to the Memphis Liberty in Memphis, only by a touchdown. The Bees having a pretty strong start this season, going 2-1 after going 4-4 in the 8-week season last year. Now facing off against these 0-3 Redbirds at home, wearing not only their new uniforms, but their new alts, their new alternate uniforms, making sure they win in style here at home. Here we have Stewart with the kickoff, and Devin Brooks to field it. He'll make his way up to about the 21. Hope you guys had a great work week. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. I didn't get to see the results of the Portland Grizzlies-Richmond Rockets matchup, but I'm sure that one was a thriller till the very end. Here we have Joseph Abatangelo, second-year quarterback, round 1 draft pick last year for the Milwaukee Bees. Started week 2 after Sam Rudnick led the Bees to lose to the Iowa Storm. Clearly the Bees were contemplating in preseason who to start, and they figured they'd give this kid a try, and he did not disappoint. They won the past 2 weeks. Last week against the Omaha Spartans, Abatangelo put up 5 touchdowns, over 300 scrimmage yards. So he's got an explosive factor that these guys like. And that's his first completion of the day to Christian Levine. Third down territory, though, for the Bees. These Milwaukee Bees don't have the best ranking offense, 18th overall out of 24. However, their defense is 12th ranked, second best passing defense in the league. So we'll see how these guys fare on both sides of the ball. Great catch by Devin Brooks for 19 yards. And in subs, Christopher Greenidge, an off-season acquisition for the Baton Rouge Redbirds, one of their 15 off-season acquisitions. Greenidge, of course, last season being at the former expansion, now second-year team, Virginia Beach Mariners. Great run there by Spellman. Back comes Saunders from his rest. Milwaukee Bees didn't add a lot of people. They added Deshaun Mason recently because Tony Graham got hurt in week 2. He's going to be out till next week with a head injury. Jamal Chapman, star wide receiver for the Bees, is also hurt. He got hurt week 1 against the Storm, and he'll be out until week 8 of this 10-week season. So, but overall, the Bees only had 5 acquisitions since last year, 3 of them being draft picks on their 53-man squad. Defensive end Moss Bell, free safety Justin Lamar, and right guard Jake Zimmerman. Spellman getting tackled in the backfield on that third down attempt. Great tackle by Spillman. Terrence Spillman, round 2, pick 26 for these Redbirds, coming up with the big stop there. And the Bees are going to be forced to punt it away. Here comes Rich Newbert. Newbert kicking it just outside the 20 at the 25, 26. And Dustin Berry and company will come out. Baton Rouge being an expansion team last year, they never have faced the former runner-up champions Milwaukee Bees ever. This is their first time facing off against them. So both teams are facing unfamiliar territory. Both teams are not owned by any team owners, so no context has been given to either of these two teams to prepare for this matchup. That tackle for loss there was brought to us by Corey Andrew. defensive end. Only the 4th worst rushing offense touted by the Baton Rouge Redbirds. They mostly pass, 7th best passing offense. Led by Dustin Berry. Great catch there by Louis Mason. Sorry, Louis Mason. Louis Mason? Louis Mason. Yeah, Louis. 3rd down, though, for the Baton Rouge Redbirds, no matter how you pronounce that. And Shepard will be stopped in the backfield once again by Corey Andrew. And Ryan Blaisdell will march out onto the field to punt it away. Both these offenses middle of the pack. Both these defenses middle to lower end of the pack. Not expecting a high-scoring one today unless Joseph Abitangelo has something to say about it. He has not gotten less than 2 passing touchdowns. Not gotten less than 250 yards. Sorry, not less than 296 yards in his 2 games. Not less than 3 passing touchdowns. So right now it seems like they're mostly going with the run, surprisingly. Having Robert Spellman take a lot of carries. You would think they would lean into their newfound franchise quarterback. Let's see what they continue to do. Another handoff to Spellman. Battle of attrition for the Milwaukee Bees, and in comes Deshaun Mason. Mason being an undrafted free agent out of Georgia this past offseason. Georgia Southern, my bad. And the back out of Georgia Southern couldn't make it, but a face mask will give the Bees a new set of downs. Disappointing if you are a Baton Rouge Redbirds fan. Hate to see those unnecessary penalties when they clearly had them where they wanted them. There's Justin Houghton on the left, fullback. Abitangelo passes to the right to Brooks. He'll break the ankles of the defender and go inside the 5. 46-yard gain, tackled by Damian Davies. And the Bees are in scoring position here. Halfway through the first quarter. Finally get those goose eggs off the board. After failed first possessions by both teams. Abitangelo in pistol, handing it off to Spellman out to the right. And he will be stopped for no gain. Yes, that was Daryl Archer. He was acquired from Orlando, the Flames, in a trade not too long ago. Nice little swap of players and a pick there. Spellman breaking the first tackle, but couldn't hit pay dirt. And Deshaun Mason will come in and potentially put up his first ever touchdown. 3rd and goal. I stand corrected. 5 wide receiver set. Not going to give the kid a chance. Abitangelo, the only one behind that offensive line. Motioning Levine to the right. He'll drop back. Throw to his right. Swatted. Looks like that was Akeem Smith on the swat. Close but no cigar. However, Chris Pittenger will come out to kick through a 3-pointer. 19-yard field goal is good. The Bees now up 3-zip over the Redbirds. Some interesting stats last season. Both these teams did not make the playoffs. The Bees went 4-4. The Redbirds went 1-7. Milwaukee only had one win at home last year, and the Baton Rouge Redbirds had no wins on the road, which means in their entire history, they have 0 wins on the road. So I'm sure the money line for the Bees was very positive, given the circumstances and the history. Barry trying to subvert our expectations. Throws a little jump off to Quentin Simon. Gain of 3 on the play. Both these teams this season have let up a lot of yards and a lot of points. And there is an example of how it happens. Busted coverage, it seemed. Louis Mason was just unattended there. And now the Redbirds are in Milwaukee territory. But both have let up a lot of points, not very strong defenses. However, on the offensive side, neither of these teams do that bad either. Milwaukee having a very small point differential, Baton Rouge being a little greater. But for example, Milwaukee last week in their win against Omaha won 35-31. So high scoring game there. That seems to be typically how they win. And surprisingly, we have not seen a lot of that today. At least as of yet. Still got 3 quarters to go. But with plays like that from Martin Shepard, him totaling -3 rush yards. It's not what you like to see. Flag on the play, potentially free play there. And there will be a free play as there was a pass interference on Cason Campbell. And with a new set of downs, Dustin Berry 4 for 4, averaging 11 yards per pass. Strip sacked! And it'll be recovered by Campbell, and he could go all the way. Touchdown! Cason Campbell following that pass interference play. He redeems himself, and the Milwaukee Bees will be now up by 2 scores over the Baton Rouge Redbirds. The Philadelphia native, the former Alabama Crimson Tide player, Cason Campbell giving them 6 points, make it 7. Just before the end of the first quarter. Devastating for the Baton Rouge Redbirds, trying to end this losing streak. Going 0-3. I'm not sure how many consecutive games they lost. I can pull that up. But these guys have not found the answer to their prayers yet. Wright taking out the kickoff past the 20, up to the 25. So let's see. Yeah, they've lost 8 straight. Their last win coming against Orlando at home. And Barry will get sacked yet again, but there will be a holding on Josiah Purvis, and that will give the Redbirds a free first down, although only 5 yards on the play. Barry motioning Shipman to the left. Handing it off to Shepard to the left as well, and he will get leg tackled, but will gain 5 yards on the play. He was tackled by Josiah Purvis. end of the first quarter. What an exciting first quarter we had. Milwaukee up 10-zip over these Redbirds, and we will see what they can get going. Barry in the huddle with his men. Surprisingly enough, I think the answer might be looking at the Redbirds straight in the eyes. If they lose this game, Luke Johnson, their round 1 pick 2 overall quarterback out of Minnesota, could be a shoo-in, but that throw might secure Barry's job. Great catch by Nesbitt. Jalen Nesbitt on the left sideline, toe tapper, and Baton Rouge is once again in scoring territory. However, we can't entirely blame these losses on Dustin Berry. Their offensive line is not very experienced, not very good. Still got some developing to do there. Great catch once again by fullback Quentin Simon, gain of 4. Adrian Ross, left tackle, and Kevin Darrow, right tackle, being the highlights of this offensive line. Colin Doyle at left guard, Jacob Arnold at center, and Jonathan Eagle at right guard. I mean, these guys are actually not that bad. I mean, however, Barry has been pressured in the upper 50 percentile of quarterbacks in this league, so maybe you just need someone young and mobile, and Luke Johnson might be the answer to that. 22 years old, out of Freeport, Illinois. Both Dustin Berry and Luke Johnson hail from Illinois. Dustin Berry hailing from Sandwich, Illinois. Fun fact. For the end zone. Looks like the communication wasn't there with Jalen Nesbitt, and we will have second down now from the 15. Speaking of offensive lines, for the Redbirds, Kevin Darrow was questionable heading into today. He'll be questionable until week 6 with a leg injury. He got hurt in week 2. He was inactive last week and was luckily able to make the game today at risk of re-injury. So we hope they don't have to re-injure him, but they do have Brian Rathbun, free agent signing from the offseason. The veteran Penn State graduate was on Virginia Beach, made his way to the Columbus Senators, and now sports the red and white for the Redbirds. Shepard with the pitch. Breaking a few tackles, but all for naught. Got tackled for a loss of 3 by Marshall Lockett. Play action for Barry, looking towards the end zone. Thrown in a double coverage, and again, some miscommunication on the play. This time, Martin Shepard, the intended target. Sorry, my bad. That was Jalen Murphy. Barry now 7 for 9, 94 yards. His only 2 incompletions the last 2 plays. Hand off to Murphy, and he will get stopped in the backfield. This time by Corey Andrew. 4th down, and Baton Rouge will have to settle for 3. Calling Matt Stewart onto the field. 3 is better than nothing, though. Should be an easy shot. And he misses. 24-yarder is no good from Matt Stewart. And he is more than frustrated at himself. Wow. Disappointing to say the least. False start in the offense to help out the Redbirds after that disappointing end to that drive. Potential for a safety here. Stewart last season only missed 3 field goals, missed no extra points, so it's surprising to see a miss from him. Fumble recovered by Levine. Scary for the Milwaukee Bees, but they gave themselves a little more breathing space, which is good, and I'm sure the Redbirds fans at home are disappointed that they couldn't come out with a recovery there. Yeah, and Stewart this season has not missed one yet, although he's missed 2 extra points. 1 in week 1 and 1 in week 3. Very surprising. Might see a kicker change from the Redbirds. A lot of changes could be seen if they start off 0-4. This defensive stand is crucial here on 3rd and 1. Mason in the backfield. And it will be handed off to Mason, and he will get a first. Move the chains. Milwaukee keeps the drive alive halfway through the 2nd quarter. Still 10-0. They have an opportunity to go up by even further. Looks like they're playing the conservative route here in I formation. Another handoff this time to Spellman. And Spellman will be tackled by Deshaun Bush after his gain of 3. Mason, the handoff up the middle. Almost got a first there. Gained 5 after he shot out of the backfield like a bullet. I believe that was Akeem Smith on the stop there. Spellman, the handoff up the middle. Will they give him forward progress? They will not. And that is 4th down for the Bees. Great stop by Anthony McLean. I believe this is the first time, no, 2nd time we're seeing Rich Newbert today. It's like Davies muffed the punt there, but was able to pick it up and regain some ground up to the 32. Some new hope for the Redbirds. Hopefully they're not forced to make another field goal from 24 yards. Barry dropping back, looking to his right. Wide open is Shepard. Shepard stiff-arming a man, staying in bounds. Finding his way out of bounds after 14 yards. Excellent play there from the offense and Martin Shepard. Great set of running backs for the Baton Rouge Redbirds. Surprising that they don't have more yards with these guys. Shepard once again rushing for over 10 yards and a first down. In comes Jalen Murphy. They also have Jeremy Tyner in the backfield. So very talented set of guys there. Murphy from Ball State and Tyner from South Carolina. Murphy last season was a round 4 pick 81. So, very talented back indeed. Yeah, round 4 is nothing to sneer at. I mean, most running backs don't get taken in the first round, so. Unless you're Kamani Moore or Scooter Wallace. But that's another story. Barry dropping back on 2nd down. Plenty of time. Looking down the middle to Shepard. Shepard being a very reliable source in this 2nd quarter. Only a quarter of the 2nd quarter to go. 3rd down at 6. This would be a long field goal, and given he just missed a 24, I'm not sure the Redbirds are going to trust Matt Stewart. The pitch to Murphy. Murphy stopped before he could reach the first down marker. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. 4th and 1. They have an opportunity to go for it here. Let's see what they do. And they will opt to go for another field goal. Will he make it this time? 50-yarder. And against all odds, he does. Stewart potentially securing his job there. Putting 3 on the board for Baton Rouge late in the second quarter. Both teams having all 3 timeouts. I expect to see another score before the half ends. Brooks from the 6. Shooting up the middle of the field all the way to the 29. Great 23-yard return there. Here comes Abatangelo and the Bees. Motioning Spellman to the left with the rest of his receivers. Dropping back. Looking deep down the middle is Levine. Gain of 29 yards. Now in Redbird territory. Tackled by Daryl Archer there. And they will let the clock keep ticking, as they don't want to give the Redbirds an opportunity to score after they potentially score here. Pistol formation for the Bees offense. On first down, Abatangelo motioning Fulton. Also looking down the middle towards the right side. Incomplete. Couldn't quite see who that was intended for. Abatangelo 50% on the day, 97 yards. Let's see what he can do here. Quick pass to the left. Incomplete, intended for Devin Brooks. Disappointing that your wide receiver 1 drops a ball like that. Guess he's got to reapply some stickum on the gloves. And here they are again. Pistol formation, looking like it's going to be a pass from Abatangelo. It will. Towards the left side is Brooks. First down, and once again, no timeouts called. Not even from Baton Rouge. Very strategic clock management from both sides of the ball here. Brooks 3 for 4. We all saw that drop that he had just 2 plays ago. Gain of 80 yards on the game. This time looks like he overthrew Brooks. And the clock will stop. Looked like it was single back, but Spellman gets motioned out to the left. He throws to the right to Wilkins. Gain of 24 on the play. Now inside the 5, less than 40 seconds to go. And they will hurry up. Shotgun formation for the Bees. Spellman on his right. Spellman sent down the middle. Throws to the right. Brooks caught. Touchdown! Bees in the back of the end zone. Devin Brooks. And he will use his magical powers to phase through the walls. $84 yards total on the game. 4 receptions. And a touchdown for Devin Brooks, the talented Oklahoma graduate. The former Sooner is 27 years old, and so far has been having a stellar season for the Bees. In his first 3 games, Brooks has totaled 9 receptions for 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a 33% touchdown rate, which I think is the highest amongst receivers who have over 5 catches. Explosive wide receiver. Here comes the Redbirds trying to potentially score before the half, but they won't even use a timeout. Surprising. I don't know who gets the ball at the half. Maybe I haven't been paying attention enough. It is the Redbirds, so I guess they decided to have Dustin Berry stat pad a little bit and then just let it be. Here comes Pittenger to start off the half with the kickoff. And back to field it is Tariq Wright. Wright shimmying and spinning and juking up to the 23. Redbirds starting off in pistol formation. Hand off to Shepard up the middle, almost stopped in the backfield. Gets a few yards, though, on the play. Gain of 4. Coming into today, both of these teams tout top 10 passing defenses. 6th best passing defense for the Redbirds. 2nd best for the Bees. So I can see why both these guys are running the ball so much. But thanks to plays like that one by Corey Andrew, I mean, he's had at least 3 tackles for loss today. I believe he's also tallied a sack as well. But you can understand why the gameplay has been, or the game plan has been to run the ball for both teams. I think if you're the Redbirds, you might want to start mixing it up. 3 and out to start the half is not what you want to see when you're down by 2 scores already. And the punt by Blaisdell will be fielded by Derek Hill. He'll make it up to the 33 on that return. Abatangelo on first down, pitching it to Spellman. Gain of 7. Milwaukee seems to have a lot easier of a time getting yards today. Abatangelo seems to be the man to lead these guys to the promised land. Although I guarantee next week they'll definitely be shown how real of a team they really are. They get to face the, heading into this week, at least 3-0, Columbus Senators. Undefeated. They play tomorrow, actually. They open up tomorrow against the Raleigh Royals. They play in Raleigh tomorrow at 2 p.m. Just make sure you catch that. But the Senators could end up with the same record as the Bees, given the Bees win this game and the Senators lose tomorrow. Regardless, Milwaukee seems to be on fire lately. And this game is no exception. Single back formation on second down. Abatangelo, the handoff to Spellman. Gain of 7 on the play. Tackled by Jimmy Lamb. Third and short. Not quite field goal range for Pittenger. Dropping back is Abatangelo. Wide open is Devin Brooks. Gain of 20 on the play. And he makes that look easy. Abatangelo dropping back yet again, this time under pressure. Slightly overthrew his man. That was Christian Levine, the target on the play. The handoff to Spellman to the left. Swept his legs out from beneath him. That was Deshaun Bush on the tackle. And Deshaun Mason will come back into the game. I'm rooting for that Georgia Southern back to get a touchdown today or do something substantial. I like rooting for the underdog. Although I don't have any stake in any of these games. Abitangelo towards the end zone. Touchdown once again, Devin Brooks. And Milwaukee is running away with this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Sam Rudnick get subbed back in. Or maybe David Myers, their third-string quarterback. You know, you have a sizable lead. You might as well. Myers, tenured quarterback from Cincinnati, 29 years old. Made his way onto the roster last season for the Bees. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw Joe Garner see some action today as well. Nonetheless, Pittenger kicks it back off to the Redbirds halfway through the third. Tariq Wright on the kick return. Up to the 21. Like he might have been tackled by Justin Lamar. Play action. To his left. Mason. First down. Great throw by Barry. Great catch by Louis Mason. Mason been a very common target today. The wide receiver 3 for the Redbirds. 2 tight end, 2 running back set. Right, motion to the left. Shepard, gain of 4 on the play. Barry, the handoff out of shotgun to Shepard. Gain of 1 on the play. It's like Chris Atanasio is going to see some action for the Bees. Barry dropping back on third down, looking deep. Caught! Tariq Wright, first down and then some. Gain of 24. And in comes Kyle Kiefer once again. Barry, the handoff to Quentin Simon, the fullback. He will gain 1 on the play. Tackled by Emmanuel Howlett. Simon's a tad slow out of the backfield in comparison to Shepard or Murphy or Tyner or Blackwell. Not quite as fast. Looked like he was dragging a wagon behind him. Shepard, gain of 5 on the run up the middle. Third down and 4. I mean, depending on which Matt Stewart shows up, we have field goal range here. Handoff, and the offensive line got broken through once again. That is Corey Andrew. Looked like he broke through Jacob Arnold, the center, and Jonathan Eagle, the right guard, to get that tackle. And this is a 54-yarder for Stewart. And it is short. Hit the padding on the goalpost. And that is 2 missed field goals from Stewart today. That one more understandable than the 24-yarder. But nonetheless, doesn't look good on the stat sheet. And it doesn't look good for their chances of staying in this game down by 21. Not like that field goal would have done anything substantial, but still. Abitangelo handing it off to Spellman. Tackled in the backfield by Spillman. Spellman tackled by Spillman. Spillman, the round 2 pick 26 in the draft, as previously mentioned. The rookie making some nice plays today on this otherwise terrible game. Another tackle for loss for Spellman, this time by McLemore. Not the rapper. That is Robbie McLemore, the cornerback. First tackle of the day for him. Abatangelo to his left, almost picked off the hands of Jonathan Saunders. And it's 4th and very long, and I'm sure Milwaukee will have no issue in punting this away. Rich Newbert will come out onto the field. And Davies will break the first tackle and keep tacking on the yards. Great play. Like that was Justin Houghton on the tackle, the fullback for the Bees, before Damian Davies could get any further. Hand off to Shepard to the left, and he is met pretty immediately by the entirety of the Bees defense. Out is subbed Carl Ricketts. In will come James Cummings. Barry in shotgun. Dropping back to pass. Most of his receivers covered, but he finds a man down the middle. Incomplete. Through to his ankles. That looked like that was Tariq Wright. No, it was not Tariq Wright. Who did he throw to? Jalen Nesbitt. My bad. Dustin Berry once again in shotgun play action. Throwing to the running back, Shepard, off his hands. And that is beyond disappointing for the Redbirds. Still anybody's game, but when you can't convert on plays like that, the wide open man, it is not looking very bright. Blaisdell punting it off to Hill. And Hill will get tackled by Tariq Wright at the 26. Hand off to Spellman, and he'll gain 3 yards on the play. Tackled by Jimmy Lamb after a gain of 3. Abatangelo pitch once again to Spellman. Plenty of room. 18-yard gain. Finally tackled by Jonathan Saunders, but what a gain by Spellman. This Milwaukee Bees team is from the Pacific Conference, Baton Rouge from the Atlantic. Baton Rouge last place in the Southeast and will likely remain there. Milwaukee first place in the Midwest. Abatangelo, though, getting sacked on the play. That was Tristan Weeks. Second and very long now for the Bees, and they'll just elect to run it with Spellman. Spellman getting a nice chunk of yards, though. Sizable chunk. Gain of 13 yards to close out the third quarter. Milwaukee up by a lot, 24-3. And this game is all but over. It is kind of relaxed now. Not many large risks being taken on either side. But Milwaukee is definitely sending a message this year. Coming off that week 1 loss and winning ever since. Spellman with another first down gained by him personally. Gain of 13 yards. Next week, Milwaukee facing the Senators. Of course, I mentioned that. But the Redbirds will face the Raleigh Royals, the other end of the matchup today or tomorrow by the Royals and the Senators. So depending on that, who will have a bigger chip on their shoulder after that game. So the two red teams facing off against each other, the more bright reds, would be a very, very visual game, although very confusing for those of you with red-green color blindness, I'm sure. I have a friend who's red-green colorblind, and I'm aware it's not all shades of red, but be interesting to know how someone differentiates. Great tackle for loss from Spillman, following my ramble there. 3 tackles all for loss, I believe, from Terrence Spillman, the rookie today. 3rd and 9, trying to force a field goal from the Bees. And Spellman will once again get put into the dirt. 4th and 8. It's like a 49-yard field goal try from Chris Pittinger. But at this point, you might as well go for it, you know? And Pittinger will make it. 49-yarder is good. And the Bees add to their already large lead, 27-3. Still a 3-score lead if every touchdown made by Baton Rouge is followed by a 2-point conversion. Otherwise, this game is all but over. Right. Up past the 30. Great starting position for the Redbird. Let's see if they'll do anything with it. Again, Luke Johnson sits behind Barry on the offense. Sam Scribner below that and Jake McGrew below that. Got a lot of quarterbacks on this roster. I am sure that we will see a change next week. And Barry, speak of, will get sacked. That sack was made by Jermaine Geary, defensive tackle for the Bees. Go. Play action. Barry once again sacked. Swung to the ground. Loss of 7. This time sacked by, looking for him on the sheet, Jeremy Crosswhite. I don't think he's recorded a stat this season yet. Nonetheless, he gets a sack in 3rd and very, very, very long. And it is a handoff to to Martin Shepard. I guess Barry's afraid of getting sacked again. Definitely a change of play call is required in Baton Rouge. Got to utilize your stud receivers, Tariq Wright, Jalen Nesbitt, Louis Mason, Rakeem Gibson, Alfred Hunter. You have tight end Evan Larson. A half-decent offensive line to protect a more mobile quarterback with Luke Johnson. I'm looking forward to next week seeing them face the Royals if all these changes are made. As I'm sure, as all of you have been observing this game with me, you see that these changes are in dire need unless they tank. Go! Abatangelo for the Bees, dropping back, plenty of time, looking to his right, caught. First catch of the day by Amir Fulton. Hand off to Spellman up to the right. It is also brought to my attention that the special teams unit for the Milwaukee Bees, I've been pronouncing wrong this whole game. It is Chris Pittinger and Rich Neubert. I am sorry to the families of Chris Pittinger and Rich Neubert. I have corrected my mistake. And on the gain of just a few there, We are now halfway through the fourth quarter. The Bees kind of salting this game away. Sean Mason now in the backfield on 3rd and 2. Handoff to the left is potentially converted. Not converted. 4th and inches, and we might see a 52-yard attempt here from Chris Pittinger. No, we won't. 4th and inches are going for it. Rubbing salt in the wound of the Redbirds. Handoff up the middle, and they'll pay for it. Tackled in the backfield. 4th down stop brought to you by Chris McIntyre. McIntyre, one of the many free agent signings, one of the 15 in the offseason from the Redbirds. Initially on the Sacramento Capitals for the first 2 seasons of the NAGA. And what a game there by Evan Larson. There's Dustin Berry listening to my advice. Using his weapons. 1st down and more. Flipping the field. The underutilized Dustin Berry. Not a half bad stat line. Berry throwing short to Shepard. Shepard will gain 2 on the play. I'm expecting some hurry-up offense from the Redbirds right about now. Berry dropping back, no pressure to his left. Shepard tackled before he could get the first. And they will hurry up on this play. Less than 4 minutes to go. 3rd and 1. And Berry will drop back to pass. Look towards the end zone. Dropped pass. I think it was defended. That was intended for Jalen Nesbitt. There might have been Kason Campbell on the defense there. Not entirely sure. And it is 4th down, and they will go for it, of course. Being down 3 scores, 3.5 minutes to go. Berry, quick throw to Mason. Caught. Louis Mason, gain of 12. And the chain gang will keep moving. And the offense will keep hurrying. 1st and 10. Berry dropping back. Quick pass again to his right. Off the hands of the defender. Looked like that was Derek Hill or no, that was Carl Ricketts. My bad. Almost picking it off there. Single back formation for the Redbirds. Berry dropping back to pass, looking to his left. Once again, almost picked off. He ran off the screen before I could see who it was. Like that might have been Kason Campbell there. Go. Berry on 3rd down. Once again, another quick pass. This time, Rakeem Gibson. First catch of the game. Gain of 18 yards, and the Redbirds have it at the 1, surprisingly in shotgun formation. I expected a run play here. We might still get it. We won't. Berry to the end zone. Incomplete, intended for Shepard. Shepard has more incomplete targets today than I'm sure most of us would expect. I feel like he's been targeted many a time. To the left to Mason. Louis Mason, touchdown. And for the first time today, the Redbirds have scored 6. And I expect a 2-point conversion here to stay in the game. I don't understand the extra point here. Mason, 7 catches on 7 targets for 77 yards and a touchdown. What a very interesting set of stats there. Stewart to kick it off as business as usual. Still down 3 scores. Brooks will make it up to the 20 before being stopped in his tracks by Robbie McLemore. The Bees will be in no hurry to move this ball down the field. Handoff to Spellman. Spellman disrupted in the backfield and stopped for a loss of 5. At first contacted by Chris McIntyre, eventually getting tackled by Anthony McLean. Kind of like a half tackle for each of them there. 2nd and long, approaching the 2-minute warning. Pistol formation for the Bees. And another handoff, this time to Spellman. Again, gain of 8. 3rd and 7, and Baton Rouge will call their first timeout. Single back formation, another handoff to Spellman, stopped in the backfield, and Baton Rouge call another timeout. Stopped by Terrence Spillman. Sorry, Terrence Spillman. Meant to emphasize the Spillman over Spellman. And here comes Rich Neubert. Yes, Rich Neubert. The punter for the Bees, as I've totally been pronouncing that all game. Damian Davies fighting his way up past the 40 to the 43. Only 1 timeout remaining as we have already reached the 2-minute warning. Baton Rouge does not have much of a chance of winning this, but here we go. Barry motioning his receiver, throwing deep to Nesbitt. 25 yards and a first down. Baton Rouge will waste no time calling their final timeout, as they may need every spare second, as now their play call will likely switch up to aim more so for the end zone or for the sidelines. Barry dropping back, looking down the middle unexpectedly. Intended for Evan Larson, the tight end. And although Milwaukee has 3 penalties called against them as opposed to Baton Rouge's 1, Milwaukee has bested Baton Rouge in almost every trackable category. Shepard gaining 16 and a first down on the play. Shows you that sometimes, no matter what the refs do or what happens with injuries, you have a well put together team with the chemistry great all around, you can win games. For the end zone touchdown, Baton Rouge, Tariq Wright. And the game will be just a little closer. I imagine they're not going to go for 2 here, considering it wouldn't help them at all. Barry now 21 for 30, over 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Trying to secure his job. And an onside kick. Looks like Milwaukee's confused. They're lined up on the wrong side. And Stewart will take advantage of it. He'll kick to the right. And it'll be recovered by Cummings. Baton Rouge misses the opportunity, and Milwaukee with Joseph Abatangelo will line up in victory formation. What a crazy ending to the game. I thought the Redbirds were going to pull it off. Not going to lie. But the Redbirds, alas, will fall to 0-4. Bottom of the Southeast still, last in Atlantic, actually. And the Milwaukee Bees will rise up to 3-1, one of the few teams. First place in the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, Columbus is also in the Midwest, so never mind. Unless Columbus loses tomorrow, so make sure to tune in tomorrow. Also, I'm sure the game's already started, but Tucson at St. Louis. The Vipers take on the Sharks. As this game ends, Brooks definitely the player of the game. Abitangelo didn't do too hot. His worst game so far as a starter. Great overall game, pretty evenly split. 3 sacks for Milwaukee, of course. Definitely did them a lot of favors. Running game for Baton Rouge was abysmal. Yeah, definitely Brooks player of the game there for the Bees. Go through the stats here. I'll tell you the game's coming up. So the Tucson Vipers are right now taking on the St. Louis Sharks. The Oklahoma City Tornadoes go into Albuquerque to take on the River Monsters. Then tomorrow, I've already mentioned, the Columbus Senators take on the Raleigh Royals on Football Sunday at 2 p.m. Orlando Flames go into Iowa to face the Storm. The San Antonio Fighters go into Wichita to take on the Wranglers. And to close out the week and the day, the Virginia Beach Mariners head into Canada to take on the Vancouver Mountaineers to face Troy Hall, a rookie that the Mariners drafted. So revenge game for Troy Hall. Very exciting slate of games ahead of us. And that will be all from me for now. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your football Saturday. My name is Reed Option. And here at the NAGA, we will see you next time.